Are you looking for a new death pledge? I mean mortgage. Yes, literally translated, mortgage does mean death pledge because of the amount of time that it takes to pay it off. And in this video, I'm going to rank institutions that you might be considering for your next mortgage if you're looking to purchase or refinance here in my marketplace of Surrey, BC. That's right, I'm going to tell you who I would go with, who I wouldn't go with, and who I did go with to finance my own personal properties. But first, and as always, if you would like to stay up to date on my marketplace here in Surrey, BC and the entire Fraser Valley, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It would mean a ton to me if you would go ahead and click the like button for the YouTube algorithm to help get this information out to even more people that are wondering who they should buy their death pledge from. And after watching this video, if you still don't know where to start with financing, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks at a time that works best for you, so I can point you in the right direction of an amazing mortgage broker. And as a reward for doing that, you can download my Informed Buyer's Guide right now down below in the description totally for free with just a couple more clicks. And now on to banks, financial institutions, non-bank mortgage lenders, and credit unions. And I'm going to start off with a disclaimer here because for sure some of these institutions are not going to like what I have to say, and I'm sure a bunch of the employees that work at those that are great, amazing people also won't like my opinions. So the disclaimer is, this is my opinion and my experience in the market. The views expressed here are my own, and you need to do your own research with each financial institution to find out if they're offering the right products and services for you. Just because I've had a negative experience with a certain institution or a positive experience with a certain institution doesn't mean that you're going to have exactly the same. In this video, I'm just speaking about, again, my personal opinions and the situations that I've found my clients in and myself in. And hopefully on the other side of this, this is going to put you in a position where you have an easier time getting a mortgage and get the services that you deserve at the best rates. So my opinion here is not only professional, but also from personal experience. But my profession is as a real estate agent and not as a mortgage broker. I have no idea how these companies truly function on the back end, the systems that they offer, or the fine print in their mortgages. So my advice to you is that you seek out an independent mortgage broker or a mortgage professional from your institution so they can guide you through exactly the right mortgage for your personal situation, and they can better explain the products, interest rates, and services that their institution offers. There you go. Is that enough disclaimers? Probably not. I'm sure if you're an employee of some of these banks, it's not going to go well here for me in the comments, but it is what it is. Because I do honestly think that transparency is key. And these are going to be the recommendations if you hire me that you're going to get as me being your real estate agent. So why not put them here and let the masses understand the benefits or downsides I see to these particular institutions and the way they conduct business. And just so you know, the consideration that I put into it when ranking these institutions from 1 to 10, they are as follows: customer service, turnaround time, advisor competency.
That one might get you in trouble.
Products themselves, prepayments and penalties, and general experience that I have had as both a real estate agent working for my clients, but also as a homeowner. And the one thing I know for sure you are going to focus on is going to be your interest rate. But let me tell you this. I think focusing on interest rates is absolutely a foolish game, because I know down the road when you have problems with that bank or you find out that the penalties are way worse than the higher payment you would have had in the better mortgage, that you're going to blame either your mortgage broker or that financial institution. And really, you should be turning that mirror around and looking at yourself, because you were only focused on one thing of a mortgage that has way more factors than just rate. Anyway, let's get into it. And as we go here, go ahead and leave a comment down below if you agree with me, or if you've had a better experience maybe on some of the ones that I've ranked lower. Go ahead and leave it down below. I would love to hear the great experiences that you have had with your bank or lending institution. Okay, so starting at number 10, and personally a place that I would never ever on my own get a mortgage is with local credit unions. Now, being here in Surrey, I get a ton of people that come to me and they bank with Prospera, Westminster Savings, Coast Capital. These are all credit unions. And often because we bank at credit unions because they give us good services for other things, a lot of people will just go into the bank and then talk to an advisor there. I am not a big fan of any of the credit unions, and I would never personally use them because, quite frankly, they are too slow. I have had multiple clients over the years lose properties because the credit unions work at a much slower pace. And unfortunately, my experience has shown me that a lot of the time you're using an advisor that's actually in the branch. And if they're unavailable, or if they take Tuesday and Wednesday off and work the weekend, you can be left in a lurch. Now, that does come with one exception, and that actually brings me to number 9 on the list, which is actually Vancity Credit Union. Now, again, I don't really believe in the credit union model. It doesn't really do it for me. However, I will say that Vancity is above and beyond the rest of the credit unions. One, they have very good advisors that I've had a lot of luck getting a hold of, but they do one thing that I think a lot of institutions won't lend on. I've had a lot of success using Vancity if you're looking for a mobile home or modular home in some sort of a leased land park. Now, going back just a hair, if you're trying to refinance your home and at any point in time that home was a stigmatized marijuana grow operation, believe it or not, credit unions might be your only chance. Even though I personally would never look at them for a purchase, I would probably never also buy a previous grow op. There is function for them out there. Now, if you're doing a refinance, these credit unions could be an okay option. Number 8, and I'm probably going to get a fair bit of disagreement on this one, is the first of the big banks, and that is CIBC. Much like the credit unions, I have clients that have lost properties because of how slow this bank operates. My understanding is that from the back end, they don't really have the tools in place and their systems are kind of archaic. And from the front end, me seeing clients constantly going to CIBC, it really shows. Now, so many people are with CIBC that I deal with because for some reason, CIBC is the bank that a lot of people that are brand new to Canada end up going with. However, I'm going to say out of all the institutions out there that are possible, CIBC, out of the big banks anyway, is the one that I would avoid completely. Number 7 on my list, I'm going to group again a bunch of non-bank lenders. So this includes MCAP and other companies like Home Trust and Merrick's. These are institutions that are not banks. What they primarily do is lend mortgages. Now, the reason they're so far down the list currently is most of these companies have 2 different channels. They have a non-bank channel, and then they also have a B lender channel. My experience is that they are actually very slow and again, can't keep up with the market. In a regular market where you have 7 to 10 day conditions on your purchase, a lot of my clients will actually refer back to these institutions because, for instance, MCAP has offered some amazing rates in the past. However, in the current market, I wouldn't recommend them. If you have ended up with one of these non-bank institutions, and I believe there's something like 30 of them, there's a very good chance that you've done so because you have to get a little bit higher interest rate because your credit or something is just a little bit off. And as the market normalizes, I would assume that they're actually a pretty good option. Number 6 on my list, just like the credit unions, is actually one of those non-bank lenders, and that's First National. Now, I've pulled them out of those other institutions in that group and I've set them aside. And the reason for that is their back-end system of underwriting and getting mortgages approved is actually second to none. From my point of view and what I see with brokers that use First National is the approval process is actually quite easy. So if you're going to go to one of those big institutions that is not a bank, something like First National might be your best bet. Number 5 on my list could be shocking for some people, and that is actually Manulife. Now, personally, I love my Manulife mortgage. And the reason for that is I have a fixed portion and I have a Manulife One. Manulife itself as a company, they've kind of been a pain in the rear. But their Manulife One product, if you can qualify for it, it is the best mortgage if you're a saver like I am. It gives me the ability to pay down my mortgage faster and then borrow off of it if I need to. This is a system that can get, if you're a spender, it can get you in real trouble. So I don't recommend it for many people. Now, as I said, they're not necessarily the easiest bank to deal with. However, for this one particular product that I have, I'm going to tell you it's the best thing I've ever done in my entire life was to get a Manulife One.
It was even better than getting married and having kids.
Oh man, mortgage financial wise. Okay, number 4 on the list, and this is where we get into the big banks, is TD. All right, Toronto Dominion Bank. I was a big fan of. My first ever mortgage was with TD. Shout out Chuck Jansen. I do think that TD is a really good spot, and I've had multiple TD mortgages over the years. and they have been fantastic. They have branches everywhere, obviously, so it's really easy to use them. After the fact, after you get your mortgage, like all the stuff afterwards is fantastic. Their user interface for, my personal business and all their banking and all that stuff is fantastic. But there's a very good reason why they are in fourth place and not ranking higher. And that is the fact that many years ago, I want to say somewhere between 7 and 10 years ago, they restructured how they compensate their mortgage brokers or their internal mortgage specialists. And at that time, there was a mass exodus from the company. I don't know exactly what caused this, if it was difference in pay or what the thing is, but they lost most of, if not all of, their extremely skilled people. And ever since then, I have not been impressed with the level of service that I've gotten from their new advisors. I'm sure that's going to tick a lot of people off, but TD, if you ever watch this, I think this is valuable feedback and you should take this back to your head office and learn from it. I'm not the only one that feels this way, and I know around my marketplace here in Surrey, BC, many other people feel the same way. Number 3 on my list is Scotiabank, and currently I do have a Scotiabank mortgage for my investment property. The coolest part about Scotiabank that I've found is generally they treat your debt servicing ratios slightly differently than a lot of other banks. So you can usually actually qualify for a little bit more at Scotiabank than you might be able to at another bank if you're offered the same rate. The customer service I've received from Scotiabank has been absolutely fantastic. When I got that mortgage, I set it up through a broker. Here in my office, there's Shaun.martignago and kirk.slaght that are amazing brokers, and I'm going to make sure their contact information is down below in case you are looking for a Scotiabank mortgage yourself. But I'm going to make a generalization here with both Scotiabank and TD. I personally get a vibe of their business model that kind of goes like this. When you're looking for an internet package or a cable package and the company you're not currently with offers you a better rate than the company you're currently with, my perception from the outside is that's how Scotiabank and TD work. They're more interested in the new business and will treat you better if you're not already a client than if you are a client. And that is a big differentiating factor between my number 1 and 2 spot. Number 2 on the list is RBC, or the Royal Bank of Canada. RBC seems to have very long time mortgage specialists, but they do not go through the broker channel. So if you want an RBC mortgage, you have to go to an RBC broker. The cool part is RBC treats their clients amazingly. Their brokers are skilled, their products are great. I personally have never had an RBC mortgage, but I do know that when I refer anyone to an RBC agent, in this case, my preferred agent at RBC is Andrew.i.austin, they are treated perfectly. And the approval process is usually super quick and painless. And number 1 on my list is BMO, or the Bank of Montreal. And full disclaimer here, I have never been a client of the Bank of Montreal, and I have never had a Bank of Montreal mortgage myself. However, my experience over the last year being in a marketplace that is as competitive as it is, any client of mine that has a BMO mortgage or has gone to a BMO advisor, and again, they are not broker channel, you have to go to a BMO advisor, they have received the best service by far, getting approvals done before offers. I mean, the advisors there have put in so much work to make sure the client gets the home that I would not feel comfortable recommending another bank over top of them for service. Now, if you need somebody at BMO, sonu.grewal and rebecca.dyck are absolutely amazing people. And again, all of these brokers are going to be linked down below. So I'm interested to find out what you think, or if you've had a better experience than I have with some of the lower ranked institutions that I have on my list. Again, so you know where I have personally got my mortgages in the past. I have used TD. I'm not with them currently. Scotiabank, I do have an investment property with right now. And Manulife, if you are good with your money and you can qualify for a Manulife One account, and you might be in, commission sales, you have a very, very good product there to use. However, if you're looking for customer service, for sure, check out BMO and RBC. Other great options, again, are Scotia and TD. Personally, if I didn't need something like a non-bank lender, I wouldn't use one. I know that they definitely have their functions, and if it was up to me, I would completely avoid CIBC and the credit unions, unless they had a product that I couldn't get anywhere else. More than anything, you should speak with an independent mortgage broker as well as these other institutions. And just so you know, and I'm making sure it's open and honest, my personal mortgage broker is a fellow by the name of Rowan Smith at CityWide Mortgage Services. I'm also going to link him down below because I do firmly believe that he is one of the best, if not the best in the business. Don't tell that to the other people that I've mentioned here in the video because they're all very, very good advisors. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click and subscribe, hit the like button, download our Informed Buyer's Guide, book a call with me if you would like to talk more about how to get you into a property, and we'll see you in a couple of days.